Artwork, critiques, Photoshop files, and reference sheets are all available on my Patreon. There guys and girls, I hope you're all doing bloody well. My name's Mikey and welcome along to another episode of Draw with Mikey, episode 136. Guys, it is a pleasure to have you as ever. Thank you so much for joining along, and for those of you who are a bit new around here, hello, thanks for the follows. Basically, this is the super rambling casual midweek series. At the weekends we have tutorials and other things, and in the middle of a week I just really touch bases with you guys. So I'm just sharing whatever artwork I've been up to. Maybe over the next hour you guys are going to be cracking on with your own productivity, maybe art, maybe homework, who knows. Hear that? I always recommend a cup of tea and or coffee. Let me sip this. And it's just my way of touching bases. So I'm going to read through the comment section. Anything that you guys might have to say, thoughts, feeling, feedback, or questions, get yourself in the comment section below. And with any luck, I'll be reading it next week around. So quick Mikey update. Yeah, nothing much really. I'm just cracking on. I'm still doing all of that Patreon catch-up. I've done loads of it, and so I'm just releasing it weekly, which is great. So I'm just bumping it out, making sure everybody's up to date. So sometimes during this series, because I just share whatever I'm doing, sometimes it's sketches, sometimes it's failed artwork and just terrible stuff. At the moment, it's currently my Patreon stuff. So in the background, you're seeing me do the TSUNADE times OROCHIMARU fan art. So this is from a little-known anime. It's all about Boruto's dad. Did you know there's a prequel series to Boruto? Anyway, you probably never heard of it. It's very underground. But we've got TSUNADE times OROCHIMARU, and in this piece, because I'm doing my clean anime style, really for me the focus was composition. So where are people's eye lines? How is everything framed? What's going on? What are the elements of a piece and so on? And I do go into a lot of detail with the Mikey commentary version of my fan art videos and stuff on Patreon. So I won't kind of bend your ear too much here. But yeah, again, just trying to kind of focus or build up a skill in a particular area as I'm working along. But guys, what are you guys working on? Let me know in the comments below. Before I dive in and read you guys, because this is part of a November catch-up, all of my current patrons will display on screen from last month. Thank you so much for the support. I love you. We're going to be getting to your rewards very soon. Don't you worry. But let me just go ahead and shout out those November patrons from way back, those highest tier ones who might have thought I'd forgotten about them, but I promise you I never did. That includes Zahaki, Michael P, Melissa, Brendan J, Anthony C, Homongchi L, Akumu Arts, Repair 1997, Diane S, Carlos R, Shelved Oddities, Tracy G, and Bernard W. You lovely people highest tier. Obviously, you're getting all the extra stuff, the alternative artwork, the saucy dojins, and all those other bits, so just bear with. Thank you so much. But you, lovely people from last week, I think I asked you just a throw-out question, and that was, who are the most flamboyant, extravagant bad guys in anime and video games? Like, I want the really out there, extra ones. And I guess, any questions for this week? So, completely randomly, I was watching some video footage, and it's like Terminator versus Robocop cutscenes from the latest Mortal Kombat game. I know, I'm so sad, I need to be working. And it just reminded me of how bad so many remakes are. So my question for you guys for this week, if you're interested, can you guys give me examples of when anime had a remake and the remake was really, really good? The original doesn't necessarily need to be terrible, but I just want to hear about remakes that were genuinely a positive thing. Because in the world of film where you've got like Robocops and an infinite amount of Terminator movies, I mean, Genesis might have been the third best one out of all the anyway, because some of the Robocop 4 was, Terminator 4 was miserable. Anyway, no, let's not worry about it. But yeah, good examples. So a bad example might be Guts, sort of a Berserk, in the way they've ruined that these days. A good example might be when they remade Hellsing into the Hellsing Ultimate, which more closely followed the manga. Or the Hunter x Hunter 2011 remake was almost across the board a genuine massive improvement without shitty filler. How dare they? Do you remember the original Hunter x Hunter? Okay, I'm just about to read your comments. I'm so sorry. But do you remember the original Hunter x Hunter anime? And those motherfuckers put filler episodes in Hunter x Hunter. You do not, son, put filler episodes in my Hunter x Hunter. How dare you? Do you remember when they were doing the exam and then they were just on a ship and then one of the characters had a sniper rifle? What? Anyway, so the 2011 remake of Hunter x Hunter is absolutely fantastic. You didn't have to download separate OVAs and all this BS. However, there is an argument that the York Shin arc, the September 11th stuff, Oh, wait, am I talking about the same thing? Oh my god, sorry, Americans. But the stuff that's set in September with Kurapika was kind of darker and visually like more morose in the original, which is kind of fair. But other than that, it's across the board improvement. So guys, do share those better, excellent anime remakes, even video game remakes. You know what? I'll take them both. I want to hear all about them. Anyway, guys, thank you for bearing with. Let me see what's going on with you guys. Jackie Liu from last week says he's figured out the YouTube algorithm. Oh, Jackie, bless your heart. I can promise you that I haven't. So for an example, you're not going to see adverts playing on today's video simply because YouTube just will not monetize most of my content. So, you know, again, shout out to the patrons on Patreon. You're literally why I can do this. Thank you so much. Don't worry, I'm not bitching. I know my artwork's very spicy. I understand why they're doing it. So you'll not see adverts on this. Even some of my tutorials will just randomly, a week after they've been up and adverts are playing, someone in the YouTube community, oh, I bloody love you people, I hope you don't fall down a well and drown, and will randomly flag my videos for review, and then somebody from YouTube will send me an email saying, hi, we've demonetized your video. Thanks. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you so much. So yeah, I haven't figured out jack shit, but thank you so much for the kind words. Supreme Emperor Mittens says, Mikey draws thick chicks. Susan, Twitter idiots, where are her organs? Yeah, you hear that shit all the time. Oh, she must have a very strong back. Oh, where are her organs? Susan obviously being Susan Wachowski and her 5-year plan to drive this platform into the ground. She's nearly done. She's nearly killed all of them. Anyway, come on, let's not moan. Let's be positive. Tell me about those good anime we need some positivity in life. Claire Zinek says, you live in a timeline where thick anime girls are drawn every day by thousands of artists. Be glad. Oh, I am glad. You know what, I was saying this the other day. 2 years ago on Twitter, I just went through this phase where I was just following loads of really fantastic, talented artists that I was discovering across all genres of art. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And then last year, I was following loads of cosplayers who were doing really cool stuff. And then towards the end of last year, I was just following loads of really lewd cosplayers with OnlyFans accounts. And then at the start of this year, I'm just scrolling through my Twitter feed and I'm just like, oh, wow. I appear to be only following hentai artists now. I don't know what's happened. It's all hentai. But, you know, swings and roundabouts. Jin63 says, Mikey wonders why he gets demonetized. Mikey's art. Well, yeah. I think my art would be that meme of the red-headed monkey that kind of, you know, is looking slightly off to the side and then looks slightly straight ahead again. That's my art just reacting to the fact that I'm surprised I get demonetized. No, it's fine, guys. It's fine. This happens. But the thing is like, there just aren't people out there teaching you how to draw that like slightly spicier stuff. And I'm not talking about anything too naughty or too rude, but YouTube is such a horrifically boring safe space sometimes. Like, I love Jazza. I think he's great, but there's only so many videos on his Copic marker rundowns before I'm just like, oh, I don't think you're teaching me how to draw anymore. And no, that's not a shout out. Don't be mad at me. If we're going to shout out anybody, it's going to be Scott Harris. Do you want to learn how to draw amazing art? Do you want to impress people with your character designs every day? No, come on. We love Scott. I don't know him, but I don't hate him. Let's put it that way. Pixelmin says, I see that thumbnail. I'm going to get a good look before YouTube strikes. Mate, tell me about it. Oh, do you know what? Okay, look, I'm all about reading through your comments, but let me just moan about one last thing. I love moaning. So I've got like Shinobu Kochiro fan arts from Demon Slayer a while ago, right? And they got limited adverts. And then someone on YouTube came along and age restricted the video so that not only are there no adverts, but you have to be logged in and over 18 to watch it. And I was just like, that is too far. That is actually too far. That's not age restrict worthy. And so just the other week, I was just like, fuck it. I put an appeal out. Would you like to appeal our decision? Yes, I would, YouTube. And it's got this big box and it's just like, please write in detail why you think that we should be reading your appeal on our decision on age restricting your video. And in that box, I just wrote, whoever age restricted it was going nuts. Please look at this video and compare it to your own guidelines. And I wrote that in capital letters and that was it. That was my argument. If you're going to constantly tell me what your guidelines are, then fucking apply them properly to this video, because this isn't age restrict worthy. And YouTube, I'm age restricted it. I got an email a couple of days ago. Good news. After reviewing your video, we've removed the age restriction. So, hey, it's just one of those things. And it's just a really interesting insight. The reason why I'm going on about this is because YouTube and Twitch especially, these are the kind of the two universes I'm used to hanging around in these days. There are no set rules. It's the way these platforms enforce their rules is always based on what's trending, how angry people are in the community, what's happened in the news, how much flack they're getting from their sponsors and so on. So like 6-7 months ago when I was doing this fan art, YouTube were just being like hypersensitive and age restricting shit. But now that the advertisers aren't breathing down their neck, YouTube's relaxed again and the same rules don't really apply. And now they can un-age restrict my videos and stuff. That's just the nature of the universe. But like, there are no set hard and fast rules. I once emailed Twitch. Okay, I will shut up soon. I once emailed Twitch. In fact, this very drawing, when I was about halfway through, I was just like, I'm thinking of live streaming this, but there's a boob grab. I don't think it actually breaks any of your TOS, but I just wanted to check with you before I start streaming, because otherwise I'll just stream some different artwork. I'm working on Loba. And Twitch got back to me and they said, actually, we have no way of telling whether or not your stream will fall within or without our TOS based on this image, because it's not the image that's the issue. It's how people react. If I could draw Orochimaru throwing TSUNADE face down, arse in the air, giving her a good spanking and pulling his wang out, and like, you know, as long as you can't fully see a nipple or a wang, and nobody complains about my video, then according to Twitch, it's fine. Then I could do something completely safe. But as long as a few people might decide they don't like me and start flagging the video, then Twitch has a problem with it, because they will only react to the common lowest denominator of public opinion. You guys don't need to hear that, and you guys probably don't care. But I just wanted to get that shit off my chest. Le Art says, I'm so sorry guys, I'm now going to 100% focus on your comments, I promise. Le Art says, imagine Mikey getting a magical pencil that transforms his drawings into reality. I used to watch that show in my childhood, Shakalaka Boom Boom. Wait, is that a real TV show, or did you just want me to make that noise? And it had the same magic pencil. In my day, the magic pencil was a big red pencil that drew on a blackboard, and it taught you how to do your numbers and shapes. It was something from primary school. Also, I wouldn't want that kind of pencil, because I draw so many deformed nightmares from time to time before I get a piece of art that I like, that I really don't think that sort of stuff should be shared with society. Just a Dio who's here for fun. It was I! It's all fun and games until Mikey draws Nezuko. Yeah, don't worry. So this is the thing, like, in the world of comic books, that comic book crowd out there, man, they're full of haters and fucking big online, we need to stop this artist, or there's another comic skate and shit like that. I don't think that happens in the anime community, with the exception of I vaguely heard some people were getting angry for lewding up Nezuko. I mean, I haven't lewded her, so I don't really care. Like, I quite liked Demon Slayer, so I didn't want to lewd her anyway. She's too precious. But, like, people were getting flack for it. And, like, the only other one I remember, these are, like, the only two anime gate, fan art gate things I've ever remembered, is people getting angry about lewd Nezuko, and people getting angry about not drawing the water gym leader from the latest Pokemon dark enough. And it's just like, oh, okay, interesting times. But in comics, like, man, people and their opinions are fucking everywhere. Yannick Linson says, hi, Mikey. Hello there, Yannick. I just wanted to tell you that you've started my manga again. Oh, you've started it. Fantastic. I don't know if you remember, but 2 weeks ago I was featured and told that I'd stopped working on my manga, but I've picked it back up. Well, I am pleased, good sir. Oh, and my favourite weirdest villain is Battle Goose from ReZero. He's absolutely mental. Oh, fantastic. I've never heard of that in my life. Battle Goose. I love the name already. So I'm taking your weird-ass villain suggestions, like the really out there ones. Thank you. Alan Crit Sharma says, I really like how the author of Demon Slayer approached the story. The manga's ended and it was really good, and instead of making a franchise that can go on forever, it felt like the story was much more intentional and well planned. Oh my god, closed manga series, absolutely. It's like with Bleach. Read Bleach if you want to. Read it up to the end of Aizen versus Ichigo and then put that shit down and never pick it up ever again, because you don't want to know what happens. Excellent. The story could have been extended to double its length if the author had decided to keep going by changing just one single event, but she didn't, and I respect her for that. Excellent. She writes the story like an account of something from her past rather than getting attached to the characters and trying to make sure that they live. So there's a really interesting thing. What was it for writing to? I can't remember what particular show this is in relation to, but they said they always wrote the characters thinking about what would this character actually do, instead of writing the scene where the character needs to get from A to B, and then just putting them there and making them make weird decisions that might not really fit. Oh, it's Breaking Bad. It's Breaking Bad. Yeah. I watched this thing about the writers behind Breaking Bad, and they were just like, we created these decisions and we knew where we needed to be by the end of the season. But every time we needed a character to go into a certain scenario and then come out the other end, we realized that we couldn't force them to do stuff that they wouldn't actually do as a character. So we had to keep writing what they would actually do in a situation and then just try to kind of work it out from there, which is kind of why it's so solid and strong, because those characters don't necessarily do what you want them to do. They do what they would actually do based on who they are. Oh man, I need to give Breaking Bad a second rewatch. Guys, you got any good TV? You can tell I'm doing a lot of shut-in stuff recently. You got any good TV show suggestions, guys? I am all ears. Anyway, Aphrodophysa says, my family, why do you want to become an artist? Me, because I can express whatever crazy imagination I have and make people witness for power. My younger brother, even hentai, even for H, even. Yeah, mate, no, I don't want to get too soppy, but this is what's so fantastic about drawing. Like, you can just draw anything, just whatever works for you, just keep drawing it, and there is no limit to that sort of stuff, and I think it's fantastic, and it's very, very good. Loplop says, hey, how do you draw like that? You should consider making an anime. Oh, that's very kind of you. The idea of making an anime sounds like a quick journey to suicide, because people who work in the animation industry are under a lot of stress and pressure, but thank you for the kind words. And Devin Boone says, you thought it would be the most extra. I'm not even going to read. You son of a bitch. I'm not even going to look at the rest of your comment because I know it's a Dio comment, but thank you so much, Devin. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. Do you remember the days of hashtag sip of tea? Hashtag hardcore crew. Do you remember? I remember. Matt the Crazy says, my digital art always looks bad because after the line art, I don't know what to do. Any ideas? Change the weight and thickness of your line art. Start throwing some harder black line art shadows in certain areas where the lines meet. There's a few good tutorials, not by me, available on this platform about that, which might help somewhat. And then just think of very basic color blocking, not shadows and shadings and soft blends, literally just values. This material of this shirt is a certain kind of light grey. This area is going to be a dark grey. This hair is going to be an even darker grey. Just block instead of blend. And that will really just help all your separate areas of your character just pop, and it'll start to feel a bit more complete and a bit more physically there. A lot of times when I do a sketch now, I just put a flat multiply layer of grey all over the sketched character, just so it physically sits there as a block of mass and pops out from the background, or vice versa. XPI Sigma Art says, heck yes, another Mikey video to play in the background while sketching. What a lucky day. Hey, thank you very much for the kind words, I'm pleased. And yeah, guys, what are you sketching in the background? What things are you working on? But also, tell me about those good anime sequels. And those flamboyant bad guys. Nutcase Art says, the extra villain that I can think of is from a guy from Assassin's Classroom. Oh, Assassination Shitsu? Wait, what the hell am I thinking of? That wasn't a word. Just search how to make ramen with a gun. I'm currently working on editing my weekly videos for YouTube. I finished my July Patreon reward, so I'm kind of sitting here like, now what do I do? Oh, Nutcase Art. Are you another professional? Good for you, good for you. How to make ramen with a gun from Assassination Classroom. Okay. Ansatsu, that's the word. Kyoshitsu? Is Classroom Kyoshitsu? Anyway. Edinel is going to... Oh, you also want me to make an anime? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, it's very kind of you. Guys, I can't animate. I don't know how to do such things. And Hentai Daisuke says, I really want to see Mikey draw Jolene from JoJo. I don't know if I know who that is. Oh, guys, so yeah, as you know, JoJo update. I am going to be taking a look at the Castlevania anime. You guys have been recommending that hardcore for me. Thank you very much. But I'm currently on JoJo's Season 4. And I've just done a bit with the two brothers in the very beginning of the season where the guy's got the bow and arrow that he inherited from that Mama Baga character from Season 3. That, you shoot at the right kind of person and they have a stand. So I've just been doing that with his miniature army, and then someone whose stand is based on electricity just kind of wrapped up the very end of that episode. So it's coming along quite nicely. We'll see how we go. And Roy Lowe says, I recommend After School War Activities. It's a really good manhwa. The art style and colour scheme fits the atmosphere of the manhwa really well, and the story is basically about students being pressured into becoming reservist soldiers after weird aliens invade Earth. Oh shit! Explores the psychological effects of death and fighting on students, and it's really worth a read. Oh, Roy Lowe, that sounds quite high tier. Okay, I'm going to copy your suggestion, good sir. I'll throw one right back at you. In terms of interesting psychological effects on people, this is a bit more vague, but a bit more widespread. 20th Century Boys. It's quite a long series, but it's all about a cult that forms based off of some childhood friendships and how that cult starts to kind of take over Japan and Asia. It's really messed up and really, really psychologically interesting. And also... Oh, yeah. You know, so manhwa is absolutely fantastic. There is I want to say it's Cantonese manga. Cantonese manga is freaking mental. Does anybody know what I'm about to talk about? Because I read this one thing once in a library in a different town when I was a kid, and I could never find it again. There's this manhwa about different fighting martial artists, and someone's backstory is that this monk kidnapped this young kid from a martial arts family who knew a secret martial arts style, forced him to write down the martial arts style in a scroll so that he could steal their techniques. But the kid, in an amazing plot twist, wrote it down, but wrote it backwards. So when the monk learnt the new martial arts style of this reverential family's techniques, it drove him crazy. And so, like, whenever he gets into fights, he jumps and spins around on his head, and he's still like a dangerous martial artist, but he's learnt the inverse of this ancient dragon family technique. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Does that ring any bells for anyone? Because I've never been able to come back to it. Anyway, Sushi Roll says, yes, you're on the top of my feed. Oh, fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for clicking on these videos. I really do appreciate it. We're all just rolling along. Oh, guys, heads up. Now, nobody's actually, like, nothing's in the pipeworks, but because YouTube is demonetizing all of my vibes again, I'm probably going to try to lean into some sponsorships. I tend to say no to sponsorships because it's just extra work. But, if they are out there this year, I'm probably going to do my best to bite on them just so that I can A, make ends meet, but B, I just want you to know that there's going to be a few things in here. So I might have said that as an artist, you never need a website, but, if Wix ever want to talk to me, then hell, it's time for a website, boys and girls. Maybe you don't need a VPN, but if a VPN wants to talk to me, hell, it's time for a VPN, boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Let me sip this. I wonder if that hentai body pillow company still wants to get in touch with me that I said no to 2 years ago. I'll look them up. Black Lion says that... Oh, Black Lion! Your name is the name of... Am I going to dox myself? I used to train in a particular style of martial arts which had that particular name. And I fucking loved those years back in the day. When I was a kid, I can draw pretty decent, but I can look at some things and draw what I'm looking at. And then it comes to freehand stuff, I suck and I don't have much of a happy childhood. So due to that, I stopped drawing because of those problems. Oh, dude, I find that drawing, especially if you've got an unhappy childhood, drawing is a great escape from those problems more than anything. I've always wanted to get back into it, but living with my parents really sucked ass. Now I'm out on my own, and in my spare time, I stumble on your videos, welcome on in, and watching you draw just sealed the deal in my increased desire to get drawing again. Thank you so much. Hey dude, you're welcome. Hey, if any of this junk that I do helps any of you guys in the junk that you're doing, that makes me a happy chap, no worries at all. But it looks like I have to start from square one to remember a lot that I forgot and learn new things. Dude, that never ends. The idea of going back to your fundamentals and relearning the basics is a very normal thing, regardless of where you are on your art journey. I need to be doing that. I just need to get some Patreon stuff out the way first. But I will be doing loads of back to practice stuff when I can. Absolutely. Also, thank you very much for the kind words. And yeah, it sounds like you've got a really good eye for technical copying, but, not necessarily your own freehand form and flow, which is, it happens. It happens, absolutely. It's one of the most common things for a lot of people, i.e. you can copy art quite well, but you can't come up with your own art a fraction as well. And that's really where you need to just start changing how you observe stuff and what you're up to. Don't worry about it. D's World says Genfuru, aka the Bomber, who's basically an evil Leodio. Oh, that's how you remember him. That's your headcanon. Yeah. So guys, when I was asking you guys for those examples of the most outrageous and out there bad guys, and still, even this week, get in the comments, reach your sweet hands forward to your keyboards, would you guys? Comment it up. Let me know who the good ones are. Yeah. I was saying that Hisoka is a very extra out there bad guy, a great example. But Genfuru, thank you very much, D's World, because I couldn't remember his name. That gives you an idea of how I wasn't that invested in him. I couldn't remember Genfuru's name because he wasn't that extra. He was a very interesting character, I guess, but in the world of Hunter x Hunter, he was definitely one of the, less memorable ones, even though that entire arc was fantastic, and the sacrifices that Gon makes during that fight, which are quite unexpected, are pretty good. Young Modulus says, Mikey, that thumbnail's pushing it a little bit too far, mate. I swear you're having fun of the YouTube algorithm on every upload. Dude, so this is what I do. I upload a thumbnail to YouTube. The thumbnail will never get flagged until the video goes live or unlisted. The moment it gets live, YouTube's computer system tries to recognize any boob or too much flesh or skin, and then within the next 2 to 4 hours it will get taken down. And then I get an email telling me they've taken it down, and then I have to upload another one where I put up a censored bar, and if the censored bar isn't big enough, they'll take it down again. It's an endless journey. It's a dance. It is a dance, and we dance this dance every single video upload these days. And because there's a lot of people not physically there in YouTube because of COVID, to actually manually address each thumbnail, this algorithm is just on high alert for any cleavage. Freaking nightmare. Anyway, Pavcho says, I'm still trying just to learn the fundamentals. I'm not really drawing what I want. Gesture is a bitch. But if you get good gesture, Pavcho, early on in your drawing journey, your characters will just feel so much more natural and fluid and real and human compared to people who just focus on technical static stuff. So it is a great way to go. I wouldn't knock it. Alfilza Art says, hey Mikey. Hello there, Alfilza. Thanks to you, I can find a pose for Kanroji, and also I'm designing a fertility character from the MILF tutorial. And another godsend. Since I'm too young to afford a Patreon, I slow down the video and I draw the rest of the figures, and I was super surprised when you did Shinobu Okocho instead of Mitsuri Kanroji, because Mitsuri has more thickness potential. You've taken forever with this, but I love you and still love your art. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, I had that massive 6-month break between Mitsuri and Kanroji, to be fair. But we'll get round to them eventually. And so whilst we're doing this TSUNADE Orochimaru, I might do some more characters, like maybe a Hinata, and maybe make it a trio. What would be a good one? Is it Rangiku? Does anybody... Wait, what am I talking about? Does anybody... I remember this as a meme. If you're ever feeling stupid, just remember that Rangiku tried using Genjutsu on Itachi. I'm pretty sure it's Rangiku now, just from that meme. Yeah, the other Genjutsu lady from the Leaf Village, who I think she gets pregnant in Boruto's dad for the anime. I can't quite remember. But yeah, she's another hottie that I could slip in somehow. Yeah, we'll see what we can work on. I quite like going old school to the characters that I remember, but it means you guys are constantly still telling me to watch Boku no Hero Academia and stuff like that, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll totally watch it, guys. And then I'm just like, or I'll still just go onto a YouTube video to find the original fight between Rock Lee and Gaara, and I'll just watch that a couple times instead. But guys, keep up your suggestions, of course. Dio Brando is the best villain. Change my mind. Yeah. No, so no spoilers, but does Dio come back in the anime series? Because he's kind of wrapped up at the end of Stardust Crusaders, or does Dio have genealogy? Because his flesh buds are still causing problems in the world of Season 4. So we'll see. Juska says, hi Mikey. Hello there, Juska. I've been putting on this series every time I see it in my recommended, which is very often. Oh, well, thank you very much. And it's been really motivating for me. Hey, thank you so much for saying those are really kind words. I love your art, and I hope you continue making content at your own pace, of course. Of course! I only ever do it my way. Some girls and anime that I love. Oh, fantastic. Suggestions. Actually, there's an entire paragraph below here, so I'll do most of them. Yakumo, Eddie, and Karen are my favourite waifus from School Rumble, which is my favourite slice of life, even though it's a little bit outdated. It's funny, and I love the protag. Anyone from Steins Gate. Oh, I've had a lot of Steins Gate requests, actually. I like the type you usually draw. There's very curvy characters like Moeka, but Kurisu Urukaku would be fun. Olivia, Uzumi, and Hawkeye. Oh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Juska. See, there's a whole load of other suggestions in there. I'm copying the entire lot. Thank you. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've watched some of that. That's why I know from last week about the Papa Doshite trigger warning. So I wonder if that's an example. You guys tell me of when an anime is genuinely better, because they completely completed the original Full Metal Alchemist story arc just ahead of a manga, right? So it did its own thing. So is Brotherhood just the only one you need to be watching, or do you want to do both because they both have value? Answers below. Actually, that's Yeah, that's a straight up genuine question. Can I just do Brotherhood, or do I want to do both? Belle Dragoneel says, just sitting here and sketching 2 hours every day. Hey, good for you, Belle. That's a good amount of time to put in. Manga recommendations are Nagatoro, and it's the best ship that you can get. Nagatoro, I've never heard of this. No context either, just for name. Okay, thank you. And Quacks2013 says, hey Mikey, hello there Quacks. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I must say that I didn't get any better. I'm just too dumb or something. No, maybe you just need to learn from a different type of person. But your videos are great to watch nonetheless. Well, thank you. By the way, how did you learn Japanese? I'm trying Duolingo right now. Also, you wanted us to call you fat, so that you do some exercise, so you're fat. Ah, fuck. Shit. Someone came into my live streams and called me fat, and then they were just like, you did ask in YouTube, and I was like, oh shit. I think I did. Bugger. Okay, thank you very much. I do need to start doing some exercise. I'm going to do some press-ups whilst I render this video. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me that I'm getting a little bit podgy. So, well, how did I learn Japanese? Well, basically, when I was at university, I was studying architecture, and my time at uni was just meeting a load of dodgy fuckers in London, and eventually I was just like, I don't think... Now, this is outside of my course, but I was just like, I don't think I'm in love with architecture. I actually hate doing all of the work that we're doing, and I'm not sure if that's a very good sign or not. Now, don't get me wrong, I met a load of lovely people as well, but I was just like, am I doing what I should be doing? I'm not sure this is it. And what didn't occur to me at the time is I was putting all of my time being cheeky. So the lady at our admissions office, we had like a separate one in a particular building I was at, took a shining to me. Have I said this story before? Not in like a she likes me way, just in a kind of, she was just very kind. And she just stamped, because you pay for your uni course, it's fucking expensive. She stamped an extra slot on my worksheet just for the hell of it, because they have the stamps, which meant I could just take extra modules. So I went straight over to the language department of our university, and I was like, hi, I've got a spare module slot on my form. I take language now, ? And the head of the languages department was just like, oh yeah, if you've got a module on your course that can do a languages thing, sure. So he just signed off the stamp, and I took Japanese for free at my university. So I was like, leaving architecture lessons, I was like, fuck this shit, nobody's getting any work done here. Our studio was fucking miserable and really badly run. Our studio, out of 7 studios running, was the only one that shut down the next year because they were just like, I don't think these 2 teachers are very good. And basically, I was just spending all my time learning Japanese instead and loving it and meeting loads of people who were coming to university so they could be communicative and meet and learn languages and build bridges, compared to everyone being just in our architecture course, which wasn't led very well, hating architecture. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it. That's where I got most of my skills from, like actually a full-on course where you had to be talking and interacting with people every single week. So that massively helped. And when I finished with architecture and did the like undergraduate bit and wrapped it up, I still, for the following year, continued to go back to London. It took me like 2 hours to get there, but I'd still go back to London every week and continue that course because they hadn't cancelled it on my documents. Mate, that was the dream. Free language courses. In England, when you're in school, you're in primary school or secondary school, people are just like, hey, one of your languages needs to be French or German. We're going to teach you another language for free. And when you're a kid, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to learn this. I hate it. And the second I finished school, I was just like, wait, they were teaching us that shit for free? Ah, fuck. Why didn't I pay attention? It's just a way of life. So that was it for me. Yeah, I played around with a few apps. Duolingo, Owl, I've never really gotten into. I liked Memrise, Memorise. I think that's what it is. I found that app to be super fun and super engaging because Memrise has packs or language learning packs that just random people can put together. So if I have like an anime language learning pack, or if I have a language learning pack which makes sure you know every single kanji that happens to appear in the first volume of Bleach or One Piece and stuff like that. So it's really directly engaging. So Memrise would be my recommendation, but that was about 3 years ago, so I don't really know if that even exists anymore. Pumpkin Kinoe says, praise the village of the hidden waifus, the thick Kage. Pumpkin. Thick Kage indeed. Well, I hope you like this one, because she's right here. Yeah, Tsunade was Hokage at one point, wasn't she? Fantastic. Ash TLS says, just by watching the title character, I'm going to know how this will go. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to get spicy again. And Tio Boev says, "Hi Mikey." Hello there, Tio. "I'm currently just finishing a full-page doodle on my notebook that was supposed to finish at school, and it's draining my soul." Oh, I'm so sorry. Also, do you read Berserk? Bruv, do I read Berserk? I fucking live for Berserk. I've got Berserk in Japanese, like first 35, 36 volumes sitting on my shelf behind me. Yeah, mate, an absolute fucking epic. And anyway, you continue to ask, have you ever drawn Casca? No, not directly. I've done like female berserks that look a bit, female guts that look a bit Casca-esque, but not all the way. Actually, do you know what? There's another artist that I'd recommend who does an incredible berserk fan art at the moment. He's Dave Raposa. There we go. He's the guy who makes the Steve Lichman comics. Dave Raposa's. I follow him on Twitter. Oh no, wait, I'll follow him on Patreon now. Actually, he's just working on incredible artwork, and he's a big Berserk boy as well. Anyway, I follow one of your tutorials, but then I remember that my parents like to check my sketchbook to see my progress. You don't want to get too busty and in trouble. They are supportive though, so it's all good. Hey, well, I'm very, very pleased. Strange Universe says, "When life's feeling low, I know mikeymegamega will always be there to help bring me up. I'll bring you up when life gets you down. We're gonna be here drawing and just sitting around. Waste paper basket." Let me sip this. Does anybody remember about a waste paper basket winning like a lottery or something? Yes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do you know what? I've just started remembering that song. How'd you catch... What? Oh, there we go. How'd you catch a typhoon in a paper cup? Hey now, hey now. Do, 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 do. It doesn't... Sorry. Okay, guys, so I'm awfully sorry. I've just had a little bit of an old man moment there. My mind just went on a ramble and just linked to an old song that I remember that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. So allow me just to apologise and get back on track. It happens. Axio Watt says, "Oh my god, Mikey, it was you! I noticed some of your older tutorials that I had in a playlist had been set to private, and I thought it was YouTube being petty to you. I guess I can understand your decision, but you privated all of the old playthroughs. What the fuck, Mikey? The Dead Space playthrough is legendary and immersive. I even rewatched my way back through the whole series several times. Crud, man, maybe move them over to the gaming channel." Axio, I'm so sorry, dude. Yeah. Well, the thing is like, yeah, so guys, I privated all of my old Let's Play video game videos on this channel from like when I first started, like 5 years ago, because they're pure cringe. Excuse me. And the really bad old tutorials, simply because I'm going to be making better, newer versions. And all of the games that I played back then, I'm playing... Oh my god, I'm just burping up that coffee. I'm so sorry. That's so gross. I'm not going to edit that out. All those games I'm playing again, I'm just playing them again live on Twitch and then moving them over to the gaming channel, Mega 2. Mega 2 is not supposed to be anything. Like, it's not my second YouTube success story. It's literally just a place to archive the gaming channels, the gaming videos from Twitch. So come hang out live on twitch.tv/mikeymegamega. That's where we have most of the fun. In fact, if you're listening to this video, maybe I'm playing The Last of Us live right now. You'll never know unless you click. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, dude, just kind of cleaning up the brand, cleaning up all of the old stuff on there. It be like that, Axio. Agent Lima says, "It was funny to watch the slow progression of the thumbnail change." Yeah, and YouTube, just sigh. TY Scope says, "Me, man, Mikey, I love your art. I should see if you have anything on line weight. Mikey at 29.23. Ah! Well, patience is a virtue. Yes, indeed. How to impress people with your pencil, line weight, and other things are all out there." JGT Impact says, "Hello, good sir." Hello, JGT. How you doing, man? "I love that you're getting back onto the horse, doing inspiring stuff." Oh, hey, thank you so much, dude. "And inspiring others to draw and keep improving. Book suggestion: The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's the first book in a great fantasy trilogy from James Islington. The best part is that it's finished." Oh, thank God. No need to wait stupid lengths of time for the ending. JGT, just for the word finished. I'm going to take your suggestion and look that up. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys know any good fantasy and or fantasy sci-fi books, which are completed seasons and series, do let me know. Man, it's been a long time since I was on my David Gemmell fair. I think there must have been about 3 or 4 David Gemmell books that I did not own. In fact, I still have them all in a box somewhere, but I was just hardcore into DG back in the day. Man, Dress for Legend, the guy in the shadows, the assassin guy with the double firing crossbow, I forget his name. John Shadow, the John Shadow novels, man. Forget Preacher. Do you want to see some cool fucking shit? John Shadow. Ah, man. Okay, Anyway, Dolly says, you still sound the same from years ago. Oh, well, thank you very much. You know, I've got more grey hairs, but we're still here. And Salt says, 19 minutes into the last video is why God nerfed you. Also, surprisingly, I never made an OC with 2 different eye colours until recently. Then I scrapped the idea. I always went for the albino look, red eyes and white hair. And looking back on it, it's a little bit cringy. Mate, looking back on anyone's old artwork is always cringy for them. But still fun. Good, that's the right attitude. And Giovanni Hardfeely says, hello, Mikey. Hello, very good, sir, Giovanni. I love the channel. Thank you very much for saying. And it's been helping me since the old days. But I never commented for some reason. Hey, well, that's absolutely fine. Some people just like to put stuff on. Some people don't want to interact. It's the same with live streaming. Some people just want to lurk and be left alone, and that is totally cool. In my book, it's absolutely fine. But every now and then, you sweet people might just think, hey, today's the day I'm going to reach forward and comment on this video. So come on. Come do it. But yeah, you don't have to either. Thanks for watching. Anyway, someone leaked a supposedly nude from the press, and it was of Trump. So why not draw a female version of that to help with my nightmares? Thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to draw gender-bent sexy Trump. I don't want to touch that with a stick, but thank you. And Iggy is the name, says, I love how he changed the thumbnail so that there's censor bars over her privates, so YouTube won't demonetize him instantly. Dude, YouTube never monetized the last week's DWM in the first place. The only reason I had to put those censor bars on a thumbnail is because YouTube was constantly removing the thumbnail as well. That's for battle. Yeah, don't think YouTube's making me any cash, guys. Demonic Grizzly says, hey, Mikey. Hello there, Demonic. This is the first time commenting. Why, thank you. I normally just lurk around here. I never really get into the DWMs when I first found this channel because they're too long. Yeah. Absolutely, like smart YouTube comment, dude. I'm going to just cut halfway into what you're saying because you're right. Smart YouTube videos are either less than 5 minutes long, so you don't put in too much work for a short video. The shorter the video, the more likely people are to click because they see less of an investment of their time. Or the video is going to be just over 10 minutes long and no longer, because at that length of a video, you get to add extra adverts in between, so it's going to make more revenue. But you don't want to make it longer than 10 minutes because you're not going to get any more for it, and people tend to trail off and stop watching, blah, blah, blah. However, as you guys know, and you've heard me ramble on a number of times, I don't do this YouTube channel because I'm trying to follow the clever metrics. It is all about just sitting down and having a chill out. So we get like shitloads of clicks sometimes on these videos, and it's just because people want to check out the artwork. And then there's a much smaller crowd that actually properly sit down and just let this whole video play whilst they're getting their own stuff done in the background. And I'm totally okay with that. I'm not going to boo-hoo about that sort of stuff, because if I wanted to only make YouTube smart videos, I would make nothing but YouTube drawing tutorials, which are just over 10 minutes long every single time, and I would make 2 of those a week with no DWMs, no fan arts, nothing else, because they're the most likely to get monetized and they usually get the most views. But if I did only that and then just made YouTube this like heartless numbers machine, then I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. So I'm just going to keep doing things the way I am and just live my life, basically. Mia Wicks says, yo, I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, can't complain, Mia. I'm cracking on a Patreon. Thank you. I'm currently working on a comic that me and my husband are collaborating on. He writes and I draw. Hey, that's fantastic. And as for villains, I would personally say that Pagan Min from Far Cry 4 is pretty extra. And he has a super flamboyant personality. Mia Wicks, thank you very much. I'm going to copy that one right there. I don't know the Far Cry series at all. At all. Thank you, thank you. Oh, actually, did I only read halfway through Demonic's sentence? And yeah, they're perfect for me, though, when I draw, in terms of the DWMs. Thank you. I've been around since the Bearded Ladies tutorial. Oh, shit, that was really early stuff. I really wondered if people had such kinks back then. I think they probably did. Mate, there's kinks for everything. Question. I've watched tons of videos that say a community is the best motivation for art. 50-50. It's practically burned into my head, really. So the question is, how on earth do I find them? I mean, on the same skill level as mine, I feel like there's predominantly for beginners or professionals. There are none IRL around where I live, so I turned to the internet. Dude, I'll answer that question straight away. Twitch. Twitch.tv is obviously mostly a video gaming live streaming platform, but it has an art section full of artists which have like art communities, and I don't, because I don't like doing stuff that's, commonly a good idea. I just avoid it. But most of these artists then have their own Discord channels where there's communities in there doing challenges and drawing together and just motivating each other. Dude, get onto Twitch, go into the art section and just start scrolling down and see what you like. Honestly. Anyway, your tutorials are incredibly helpful, especially the one about mapping a face. Thank you for the video. P.S. Is this considered an essay? Yes, it was. Thank you so much for the kind words, Demonic. Curve says, hey Mikey, hello there Curve. I've taken to listening to the DWMs whilst I'm at work. Between the engineering day job and being on overtime, the freelance engineering work is picking up, hey, good for you man, and a woodwork project for my older kid who's just moved out and has no end tables to put things on while she's on the couch. Hey man, you gotta look after them, right? My time for drawing as such is far or more or less crushed, but the upshot is that I get my bills paid off, mate. GG, I feel you. And have more leisure time to draw further down the road. And possibly digital art hardware upgrade. Well, I really mumbled that one. In the meantime, for DWMs, help remind me to steal a few minutes on breaks to practice figure drawing. Yes, fantastic. I never want to get to the point where I have some time to relax and think, what shall I do with this time to help me relax and forget that I could be drawing, even if it's just a few bits of practice. Curve, yeah. I feel you, absolutely. Anyway, let me just keep going down here. Thank you for the kind words, and yeah, that's a really interesting outlook. Like, sometimes you just have to live your life, and that just involves all sorts of other things, and your free time gets sacrificed because you need to get shit done or support other people. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not always easy, absolutely, but the fact that you're just fitting in a little bit of time for those extra figure studies, putting that pencil to the paper and so on, I do doff my hat at you. Afan Sammy says, thanks for the glorious thickness, my dude. You're welcome, Afan. And I just want to say thanks because some of your tutorials, I've finally started going back into drawing again. That makes me very happy. And MD Biz Gaming says, hey Mikey, hello there good sir. I'm glad to see another great session, and it's with the best girl from Kimetsu no Yaiba. Oh, is she your number one? I was actually working on my own slightly spicy drawing, the craziest character in anime or games, however. I want to give a shout out to Hojo from Final Fantasy VII for being the crazy scientist he is. Man, Hojo's a real piece of shit, mate. He's a real fucking piece of shit. Hojo in the originals is obviously a scumbag. And is kind of like semi-implied rapey DNA injecting scumbag. Hojo in the Final Fantasy VII remake. Have you seen that motherfucker? He's fucking thrusting his hips at shit. He's twisting himself around into these weird poses. Final Fantasy VII remake Hojo is like, they've added this extra layer of weird creepiness onto him that I didn't really get from the original. Obviously, there's different graphics. Yeah, he's a crazy scientist, but I don't know if he's out there. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if he's flamboyant. In the remake, his hips are definitely out there. He's swinging them around if they don't lie, but I don't know. I don't know if we accept that for a flamboyant one, but I do understand what you're saying. Nieke Duvenhage says, hey Mikey, hello there Nieke. Since this is a safe space, it absolutely is. Save all of your secrets for right now, guys, because we can share. Hi, I'm from Nambia, Africa. Hey. Oh, Namibia. I'm so sorry. Welcome to my safe space. Namibia in Africa. Look down. It has been insane, but I'm in love with your midweek videos. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I've been trying to get back into drawing, but it's been a bitch, but I've got a new drawing kit and I love it. Oh, I love it when you rage draw. Keep it up. Oh, thank you very much. Nikkei, I hope you have a bloody lovely time. I hope you're safe down there, and thank you so much for the kind words. And also, how dare you? My rages are not for your entertainment, thank you very much. I'm just trying to fight the system over here. Shrimp Shredder MC says, hello. Hello there, Shrimp Shredder. I was just curious, why do my drawings always look off? It's making me want to give up. Do you have any advice on drawing? That is too much of a broad question, Shrimp Shredder. You're going to have to nail things down. And yes, I've answered this question many times about building up your technical skill and your observation. I've got a video, a really old one, FAQ and my drawing equipment. It's about halfway through that video I start talking about said things. Vedic Santos says, activate the subtitles in Portuguese, please. Oh yeah, I don't put together any subtitles for this channel. Oh, I am sorry. Eu não falo português. Lo siento. I'm so sorry, dude. Does somebody want to translate this? No. It's too much of a hassle. No. I'm not saying no to you forever, but just no for right now. Let me just get my Patreon done, and then we'll work about Kelong. And also, Corvette Z06 owner says, I have a beer in one hand and a cigar in the other. How am I typing this? Easy. You're obviously very good at manipulating your wang for keyboard effects. And Lars Fantastic says, yo, hello there, Lars. I just recently got into digital art and I really like your outline style and technique. Hey, thank you. I would love to see a tutorial on that. How to impress people with your pencil, dude. That's what I've been doing recently. But as for my actual digital method, I've done a few basics. But it always evolves and it always adapts, and I will do another kind of slightly longer sit down start to finish. It won't be on a really large piece. It'll be a bit more zoomed in, like just a bust figurine. But I will be doing another, start to finish tutorial series in 3 parts, basic to line, line to flats, flats to finish, something along those lines. And Jamie Martinez Cardenas says, Mikey, hello Jamie, can you give me some advice about figure drawing? I'm in my first years with 6 months of learning. I've been practicing mannequinization lately. Mannequinization? Is that something to do with the Loomis building blocks method? I'm not 100% too sure, but it sounds something along those lines. I would say gestures and form and flow and observe real people. There's a very good book. Wait, have I forgotten it? Drawing Design and Invention by Michael Hampton. That's always the one that I tend to go to, which talks a little bit about that as well. And also just loads and loads of YouTube videos, dude. Me and plenty of other artists. Someone whose name that I cannot read says, hi from Belarus, Mikey. Hey, how you doing, man? I have some ideas to draw, but a low skill level. So may I ask you, where do you get some motivation for practice? Because I have troubles with it. P.S. My nickname sounds like multiclass. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for writing it in a way that I can... Multiclass. Multiclass. How you doing, man? Yeah, so I've said this before. Personally, when I want a bit of inspiration, I do one of two things. I go onto ArtStation and follow amazing artists for just do incredible pieces, and I just try to re-invoke some of their colour schemes or their palette or the main focus of how they weight stuff. Or equally, I'll go onto Pinterest and just scroll through different boards of inspiring artwork. Or the physical version is there is a book series called... let me just turn around. Spectrum, there we go. Currently Spectrum issue 26 is out, but Spectrum are these really deep, fat books full of incredible modern fantasy artwork, IRL, digital marketing, whatever it is, video game design, and it is just full, and it's just really nice, like color pages all the time. It's just full of incredible submissions from incredibly talented and or skilled artists out there. So I usually find that just flicking through pages of that kind of thing just really gets my juices flowing, good sir. And you're just going to see so much crazy shit together. But also, not just that, read books, man. Read fantasy books, sci-fi books. And whenever you get like a book description of something, however you imagine that weapon, sword, item, character to be looking, will always be slightly different than how the person sitting next to you imagines it as well. So building up ideas from written text to kind of put things together also has like this crazy vibe. Like, and a really good example would be Hyperion. The Shrike or the Shriek, depending on how you like to read it incorrectly, because I've always called the Shriek for years. The Shrike is described as this kind of modern art statue made of fawns with 2 red gems for eyes, and it's pure chrome and steel. And you get very little description beyond that, other than he has an extra pair of arms. So if you see a load of different people's fan arts, they all do these slightly different interpretations. And just looking your way through that kind of thing is absolutely great. And another thing that I'm a sucker for, just Final Fantasy video games. There's always such interesting stylization and character designs in the Final Fantasy stuff, especially Final Fantasy artwork and concept sketches. Usually just does it. Basically, there's an incredible range of stuff out there in almost any genre or medium, and they're all going to inspire you to some degree if you just start to keep an eye out for it. So put as much stuff into yourself. Don't worry, this isn't my OnlyFans account. Put as much stuff into yourself as you can in terms of inspiration, input, thoughts, artwork, techniques, creative writing, whatever it is, and see what visual artwork interpretations you have of it that comes out the other end. Also, the OnlyFans version of that is put a condom on stuff and then fit it inside of you for money on screen. And that's how we make ends meet. Onlyfans.com/mikeymegamega. I'll make this big bottle of Lucozade disappear if you ring my buzzer. Rain Matalek says, you're my inspiration for doing art. Hey, thank you. I'm going to try to draw every day until I can make masterpieces like yours. Hey man, I'm no masterpiece kind of guy. But thank you very much for the kind word. I'm just another dude scratching my way around, stylus to the screen and so on. Josh Durrell says, I've been working on character art for a series of D&D story videos based off of the games that I've run. Alas, drawing eyes is a skill that I seem to have lost. Oh mate, I'm having a lot of troubles with eyes recently. I'm going through this weird emotional journey of drawing eyes the way I want to draw them versus trying to draw them a bit more like the original character I'm trying to do fan arts of, and kind of trying to find an in-between can like have a massive effect on the overall framing and realism, air quotes, of the overall face and character design. It sometimes pulls it out of anime and draws it into too much realistic stuff that then unbalances a piece, and then because of that, how much detail do you put into the nose? Do you make an anime line? Do you put a bit more in there? You try to map the face more accurately? You can go down a rabbit hole. I completely feel you. Anyway, I hope you find it. I hope you find it, dude. I wonder where I will turn to relearn that. I have no idea. Did you know that there's a really good drawing course on Udemy? No, let's not do that. Also, I'm drawing this time. Oh, as for the drawing this time, nice. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Erica Bang says, I'm definitely looking forward to that tutorial about When to thicken or thin lines in digital artwork. Okay, I'll get on it. I'll be diving in. And Seth Francisco says, I appreciate your art. It's helped me with my motivation to draw. Seth, thank you for the kind words. Random individual. Actually, don't want. Let me just stop and sip this. Delicious. Random individual says, hey Mikey, hello there Random. I saw you upload when I was about to draw a doodle, but since I've turned on your video, I quickly switched from the doodle to a busty Tifa, and I've improved a lot because of you. Thank you for what you do. By the way, a good villain is Vas Montenegro from Far Cry 3. Also, a great character suggestion is Dido or Illustrious from Azure Lane. So we've just had a Far Cry 4 suggestion, but you're saying Far Cry 3? Random, I'm going to copy that. Guys, seriously, tell me more about these out there bad guys. Skiller PV180 says, hello from Germany, sir. Guten Tag. Hello there, mein Freund. I just design and practice on my own characters, and every video when you're speaking for about an hour, your art is displayed in the background. Yes, that's how it works. I really like your art and the conversations, oh, thank you, which gives me some idea on how I can improve my own art and what I can add to my animator. Guys, you're all so kind with the kind comment. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, I like to listen to your videos for about 2 years. Looking forward to you still doing your good work and art for a long time. I'm glad you're back on YouTube. Hey, thank you. Even if you hate and love YouTube for us. I do. It's a love-hate relationship. Absolutely. William Rivera says, do some bloody exercises. Oh, for fuck's sakes. That's for second call out. You guys are... Yeah. Okay. Good call out, William. Good call out. I do need to do that exercise. Thank you very much, guys. I liked it when you guys just said you really found my artwork motivating. I don't know if I like it so much when you do that thing I said about reminding me to exercise. This is less fun. Dylan Casano says, I'd say that it's D-O, all spelled in caps. Pretty extra villain. Yeah, thank you. We've had that suggestion a couple of times. I've got that on the notepad, you kind man. And Little Tramalil Mix says, you're really finding loopholes because I thought I'd seen a nipple for a second in the thumbnail. No nipples here, man. I'm a spicy artist. I'm not deep on that H, I'm just deep on that spice. Except for the higher tiers on Patreon where it's, it's getting a bit more H and Dojiny, so that's just the nature of the world. Gabrielle Regan says, if we're talking about villains who are extra, yes we are. Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, done it, thank you so much. And just some guy with a scarf says, your Wang awakening techniques never cease to amaze me. Oh my, you're going to make me blush. Dangerous Dash says, hello Mikey Sensei. Hello there, Dangerous. I love your art, and since I watched your fan art and tutorials, my drawings have gotten better and better every time. I'm actually sad at this moment because somebody on Amino criticizes me about how many layers I use, and the last thing they say is to make good art, use 3 layers instead of 41 layers. 41 layers only makes you worse. Dangerous Dash. I use, with this TSUNADE fan art, I don't know where I am, but I use in most of my work somewhere between 200 to 350 layers. I never merge my layers together, and I always keep them separate because I give away my Photoshop files on Patreon, so I want anybody to be able to look at each individual layer and understand my thinking process. But yeah, don't worry about them layers, man. You're always going to find people who want to crush their layers down to 1. And there's people I've seen who will have hundreds of layers in their artwork and they'll flatten it down to just a couple of layers. And those people are crazy, they're dangerous, and you don't want to meet them on the street, and I don't trust them, and they're weird. So don't name your layers, but don't flatten them either. Make many layers, make a happy man. Undead Rose says, I have about 25 characters and only one of them has 2 different coloured eyes, and that's because she's blind in one eye. Okay, I'm going to allow that one. That's not too heterochromic. Designing characters is easy for me though. I just splat out my ideas into the sketchbook, draw them about 300 times, holy shit, and then just something eventually clicks. That's how I destroyed my tavern worker OC. Oh, designed. Oh, fantastic. And Anthony Dorosso says, fun fact, the English dub of the Street Fighter animated movie from the 90s. Oh, yeah. Fei Long was voiced by Breaking Bad's Bryan Cranston. Anthony, you're a psychic. We were just talking about Breaking Bad earlier this episode. Dude, Bryan Cranston voice. Oh, mate. Okay, I'm going to copy that. Because, yeah, I was talking about a few examples of when dubbed anime is maybe better. And that 90s Street Fighter animated film, I don't know if the dubbed voices are better, but the music choices and the score are better than the Japanese version. And Bryan motherfucking Cranston was involved. Holy shit. Good knowledge. Good knowledge. Okay. And Ariane Martinez, I think this will be our last one, guys, says that Roman Torture Vic from Ruby, his personality is really funny and he's got a cute sidekick. The volumes are free on YouTube to watch. And you're only really in it for the ending. Oh, so Roman Torkovic, is he a particularly badass bad guy who's flamboyant? Thank you very much for the suggestions. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good bad guys, flamboyant enemies, good examples of terrible fathers in the anime, good examples of sequels and remakes. Get your sweet selves in the comment section below. Let me know your own suggestions, thoughts and feedback. What are you working on? Thank you so much for listening in. Get your sweet selves on my Patreon if you haven't already, and if not, don't worry about it. It's just a pleasure having you guys along for the ride. I'll see you next week. Take care.